Hi, I'm Gary German with Red Alert Screen Printing. Today I'm going to teach you how to pull a squeegee. We're going to be using the Red Alert logo as our example. It's a two-color, and I chose that because it's got black and white ink in it, and black and white pull differently. We also chose our logo because it has a trap, and we'll be talking about that later in our series.
Now, light inks and dark inks have a different consistency to them. When you pull the squeegee, they spread differently and they pass through the mesh differently. Black goes easy, white colors are tougher. Black is more opaque and you only need a thin layer to cover the shirt color. White, on the other hand, needs to be thicker so it can mask the shirt color better. To attain that masking ability, white and light colors have more body. We talk more about printing light colored inks on dark fabrics later in our series.
What is a squeegee? A squeegee is basically a handle. This one's made of wood, and a squeegee blade, which is made out of rubber. Squeegee rubber can be a variety of different kinds, and squeegee rubber is said to have a durometer, which is the bendability of the squeegee. Generally, the higher the durometer of the squeegee blade, the harder it is to bend it. This one's called a medium durometer, which means it's a 70 durometer. A 60 would be, say, a soft one, and an 80 or a 90 would be a pretty hard one. There are a variety of different kinds of squeegee rubber you can get.
I like this kind made by Lumina. It's chemical resistant with a cut edge.
This is more of a clearish plastic one. And you can get what they call a triple durometer squeegee, which I think is pretty awesome. This basically has a soft durometer on the outside and a harder durometer on the inside, and then another softer durometer on the outside, so that when you pull it, it has the flexibility of a harder squeegee, but it also has the softness of a little bit softer squeegee on the edge, and it does a really nice job. A squeegee handle can be longer or shorter, and according to the way your hands fit on the handle might influence whether you want a longer handle. I tend to like the wooden ones, and they're a little bit shorter.
You also want to consider how wide of a squeegee you select. For one thing, the wider the squeegee, the more power you need to pull it, and the harder it is to control. I recommend you choose a squeegee about ½ inch wider on both sides of your print. That way you can get the most efforts and you can get the least amount of mess.
How does a squeegee work? Well, basically what happens is that when you pull a squeegee across the screen, you grab a hold of it and the squeegee blade bends as you're pulling it, and the ink underneath the bend has the pressure of the blade pushing down on the ink and forcing it through the holes in the screen. When you pull your squeegee across your screen and force the ink through it, one of two things is going to happen. Either the ink is going to penetrate your fabric, or it's going to lay on top of it. And depending on what kind of print that you want to do is going to help to affect what kind of decisions you're going to make about how you pull the squeegee, what kind of blade you use, the mesh of your screen. When you pull the squeegee across the screen, the ink pushes through the screen, and then it is either going to lay on top of your substrate, or it's going to get forced into your fabric, and it's going to wrap around the threads and push in. And then when you dry it, it will create a mechanical bond.